Okay, let's talk about famine. Now, famine is something that I'm not a fan of, and I don't like talking about it. It's among my least favorite things, which comes with the Holocaust. Famine is number 2. So, famine is 100% not something I will be discussing in a video. Let's talk about famine on YouTube. Now, famine, you probably know what it is. Famine is a large period of time where starvation is followed by disease, the corrupt government, the economy sometimes collapses, maybe the entire population is depleted to a tiny amount of survivors, the usual. But really deep down, there's more things to famine. I mean, the dictionary. What does the dictionary have to say? The dictionary says what I just said. Not useful. Let's dive into the history of famines. Now, in order to start out with the history of famines, you need to start out with the one that killed the most, which happened in Ireland. Now, you probably know about the Irish potato famine. It is a giant famine that was caused by a disease that infects potatoes. And you might be like, wait, what? Disease infecting potatoes? Is that even a thing? Yes, my dear viewer, it is a thing. You should go look it up. There are many plant diseases out there. But that's not the point. The point is that the government was like, what? The reports say that there's a lot of people dying in the streets and nobody can eat. Oh my God, this is perfect. We can starve out the entire poor population. Hooray, Irish potato famine. Just don't kill too many people. And the population decreased from 12 million to 4 million. Huzzah! What a perfect success for the disease anyways. It kills a lot of people. Now, this disease caused potatoes, aka what Ireland lived on. The potato is really important. It can last for a long time and it's got energy. So good, really healthy until you inject this disease into them. Now, the disease was swept off leaves onto the potatoes who are growing in the ground. They grow, and when you pick it up, they smell terrible. They're smushy like a rubber ball. And then you don't worry, this is edible. So yeah, don't eat it. And also, if you cut it open, I hope you like watching plants have bloody noses. This is the equivalent of it, okay? Actually, the equivalent of a bloody nose. Times 1 quintillion. Now, the Irish potato famine was not just the disease itself, as I already said, it was the government. But we need to thank them for giving America the population it has today. Oh yeah, Ireland, no one cares. I mean, Ireland's population only depleted about most of the population died? Not that big of a deal. It's not like this country is now going to be so small that Britain can't even use it as a colony. Not going to happen. Now, another one that you probably know about is pretty censored, but well known when it comes to history. And it is China. Yes, China. Now, you probably know about Mao Zedong, the great savior of China. And he proposed a beautiful, perfect, foolproof idea to industrialize China. Don't give the poor people food, just give them what's left, even if there's not going to be anything left. Just, the usual. And also, have them make steel furnaces in their backyards, filled with dead bodies, their severed arms, their lost eyeballs, their broken arm, their furniture, their house. It's not not like this is going to cause a famine. Oh, and yeah, don't give them food. Give them food after 3 years. Nothing can go wrong, said Mao Zedong, who definitely does understand science. And the science that he understood was, if you starve people to death, they will work more. What a perfect idea. Well, a small correction for our brilliant scientist Mao Zedong. No, that doesn't work like that, but your hypothesis is good. So yeah, that was the giant famine of China. I can't go into detail because the Communist Party censored like all of it. And if you go into Wikipedia and look it up, they will have an article about it, but it's probably like 3 sentences because China deleted it all. They want the world to think that they're good and powerful and not causing any famines. You see, the government is always behind famines. The Irish potato famine. The British government was just like, no one cares if people are dying. And the Chinese government was like, I have a perfect idea. How about let's not give the people food? So yeah, those are probably the 2 largest famines in the world. Root cause of agriculture. Now, agriculture is usually the reason why famines even exist. You see, at this time, famines never occur. It only occurs in not that developed places. But in the United States of America, heck, there's so much food. What could go wrong? It's not like the blight is going to be coming again. Except it's a thing still. Well, we do have anti-parasitic stuff, so yeah. Oh wait, yeah, that's killing plants. Don't worry. What could go wrong? No one knows because that's the future, so Now, agriculture is basically, the agricultural revolution is basically the transference from being a hunter and a gatherer and a low-leveled mind dingus to a hard-wire farmer. So yeah, agriculture is basically the root cause of famine. Agriculture is susceptible to disease, parasites, and other things, which is pretty not that good if you ask me, but we don't need to talk about that. Oh, yeah. And also plants don't make as much energy as meat, but like the agricultural revolution, only the rich people get the meat. Oh, huh? Oh, yeah, that's one of the reasons why famine is a thing. Now, famine, if you have to agree with me, is terrible, and it is not something that we should wish. Famine isn't just starvation. It is an entire population decreasing by at least 1/4. I know, you might be like, that's not so bad. Well, the 2 examples I gave you, those are the most extreme of the extreme. And that is basically the average famine, the extreme. That way, if it's always extreme, it's always the obvious. Famine, we all need to work together to stop famine. So, government, the number one reason why there's famine is the government. As I could show you with those 2 examples, communist government, capitalist government, smushed together and have people starve to death, maybe some potato diseases and maybe some communism, smush it all together and you get famine. And it is not something that should be a SpongeBob meme. Now, famine is something that's really overlooked. It's overlooked by war and disease, but yet famine is greater than all of those. Except for disease. Disease killed more, but still. Disease for famine is only one part of famine. Famine is starvation, disease, revolution, corrupt government, and of course, terrible conditions. Not something I like talking about. Well, I guess it isn't going to be foreshadowing that I will never, ever, ever make another video about things like war and disease.